All right, so we'll slide back in the chair. We'll put your feet down flat on the floor. And we'll start today with our tail tucks. So imagine you could take your tailbone and tuck your tailbone up towards your belly button. And then relax, and we'll do that several times. And I'll ask you to notice the difference between pulling your tail back and rounding your shoulders down, because that's not what we're going for. We want this to be an active movement through the core. Next time you have your tail tucked, hold it there. Let's press the palms together. And then open the arms really big. Open your chest, lean back. Very good. Press your chin forward and pull your chin back. And let's do that several times. Pull the chin back one more time and hold it here. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, elbows down. 2 more times. In and up. Out and down. Last time. Very good. And bring those palms back together. We'll open the arms one more time. Nice and big. Press the chin forward and pull back. Let's do that a few times. Tuck your chin one more time and hold it. All right, very good. Put your hands on your thighs. Keep this lift that you have in your head and your shoulders. We're going to add pulling back with the elbows and lifting up with the chest. And then press your hands forward, round your shoulders and look down. Pull your arms back, lift your chest, look up, forward and down. And one more time, inhale, lift up. Exhale, round forward. And then take a pause in the middle. Palms come to the chest one more time. Open up. We're going to touch the left hand on the right knee and then come back through the middle. Touch the right hand on the left knee. Very good. Let's alternate. Allow your shoulder to rotate with your arm so that the upper body twists from side to side. One more each. And hold it here. Pause in the middle. Let's drop the right elbow and the left elbow. If you're adding on, stretch overhead. One more each. And pause in the middle. Very good. Find your armrests and slide your hips forward onto the chair. That might not be a good fit for you. You don't have to do that. Sliding forward makes this a little harder. So continue to squeeze your bum, lift your chest, and add that chin tuck. Let's warm up the lower body with some ankle rocks. And then we'll go on to some clamshells. Very good. From here, bend both arms. Keep those knees still for just a moment. Walk. So march your feet and swing your arms like you're walking. And we want opposite arm, opposite leg. Very good. From here, take a break. And then let's put our hands on our hips and kick the right foot forward, head up, shoulders back. Keep your back flat. We're going to lean forward from the hips and then come all the way up. We'll do that a couple times. Watch me. Remember, this is the one where I want your shirt to be nice and flat. I don't want to see any wrinkles. I do want to see a nice flat t-shirt all the way down and all the way up. You've got it. Let's do that one more time. Lovely. And switch the feet. Nice and tall. Lean forward and sit up. A few more times. And take a pause. We'll do one more stretch before we start. Put those pinky toes down and bring your palms to your inner thighs. Lean forward so you're pressing down at the knees. Keep the chest lifted up. Take a nice deep breath. Very good. We're adding on. As you inhale, squeeze your knees together. As you exhale, press your knees apart. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, press. One more time. And then take a pause here. Let's bring the feet back to neutral. And the hands will come to the outer thighs this time. And you know what? I'll make it a little harder. Step your feet out, shoulder width. Press your hands in and your knees out. Let your hands press harder than your knees. Let your knees press harder than your hands. And we'll alternate that a few times. So we're building strength in the outer thigh and hip muscles. Here's our last one. And take a pause. All right, so from here, come back to those bent elbows. We're going to march the feet and swing the arms. I'll tell you a little bit more about my trip. So I haven't told you a lot about Stuttgart yet. That was the last thing that my dad and I did on our little 3-country tour. Stuttgart is where my family heritage is from. My dad has ancestry papers, I don't know how many generations back, but 10 generations maybe. And so our family is from, the men seem to be, let's take a pause. We'll put our hands on our hips again and kick out that foot. Lift your chest, nice and tall. Lean forward, sit up. Remember, no wrinkles on your t-shirt, please. So we have paperwork going back showing that most of the men on my dad's side of the family were from a farm town in the Stuttgart area, and most of the women were from Zurich, Switzerland. From here, you can sit all the way up and switch your feet. Sit up nice and tall, lean forward, and come up. And so even here in the United States, my dad's side of the family continued to work heavily in the dairy farming industry. And he would always rave about these baked goods that his grandmas would make that were Swiss in heritage. Go ahead and sit all the way up. We're going to put the pinky toes down one more time, and then bring your hands to your thighs. Press the knees down, lift the chest up. As you inhale, squeeze the knees together. As you exhale, press the knees apart. We'll do that several times. So I did say before I left that we were going to take a little adventure over to Zurich and try to find a bakery that served Hutzelbrot. You know what's funny is I called so many bakeries while I was there. And I'll tell you, so come on up, go ahead and switch your feet, take your hands to the outside. One more step out. All right, pushing in and out with the upper and lower body. Let your hands win the war, let your knees win the war. And we'll do that several times. I called so many bakeries looking for Hutzelbrot, but I had to say it, Hutzelbrot. They couldn't understand when I just said it with an American accent. So I really had to learn how to put the into my sounds while I was there in Germany. Let's take a pause. We'll bring our feet back together. One more time, bend your elbows and let's march the feet like we're walking. So the one place that I found was an hour and a half away. And we just decided that it was too hard. It would have been 1 train and 2 buses to find the one place. And we did get a lot of practice on the trains, so we knew that 1 train and 2 buses was going to be a little too hard for us. Let's go ahead and take a pause. Pick up 1 weight, please. We're starting with your right hand behind your head, and then press that elbow back so we sit up nice and tall. Left arm comes out to the side, very strong here, and then march your feet. So that was a bit of a bummer, but on the bright side, my dad has already purchased all of the ingredients that we need to make it ourselves this Christmas. And, okay, we really did some research, and we found out they weren't making Hutzelbrot at all. They were making something called Bernbrot, and he just had the name wrong. So thank goodness we didn't take a train and 2 bus stops to get somewhere and order the wrong thing. Let's take a pause and switch the sides. Left arm comes back this time nice and tall. Right arm out to the side, nice and strong. Good, march your feet. Lori, am I saying it right? Have you heard of this? Bernbrot? Okay, do I need to say like, it's okay, good. I don't have to keep practicing all the German accent with my words there. All right, let's take a pause in the middle. Plant your feet, bring your weight to the center, and hold it horizontally. We're going to, let's keep the feet close and put that weight right on your thighs. Like we do, press the heels down, lift the chest up. We're moving through the hips, so no wrinkles on your shirt. Lean forward and come up. Very good. We'll do that several times. So that was just one of the many things I got to learn about my dad and my family's heritage, and one of those kind of funny family stories, I guess, that decades later, it turns out we were calling it the wrong thing the whole time. But what we did find looks more like a homemade fig Newton. I'm pretty excited about that. So I'll fill you in on that after Christmas. I'll let you know how it went. From here, sit all the way up, pull your weight to your chest. Now, we're starting easy. Tuck your tail, sit up tall. Remember, tail tuck is an active move with the core muscles, whereas slouching is just kind of going limp, and we really want an active pull through the core. This time, tuck your tail and hold it. Let's do some sit-ups. You might go all the way back, you might move just an inch, it's up to you. So when I arrived in Stuttgart, my dad had been there for a few days already, and I had just finished with work, and I took the first plane out the next morning. It was a 6 a.m. flight to get to Stuttgart. So when I arrived, I did not take the train because my dad had told me how challenging it was. I just paid the money and took an Uber to our hotel. Go ahead, sit all the way up, take your weight in your left hand out to the side, right arm comes back, big and tall. Tuck your chin, march your feet. So I got to our hotel and we hit the ground running. We immediately got a map from the front desk and we took a walk down to what's called Schlossplatz, which I think Platz means palace. That's what we sorted out while we were there. Let's take a break, plant your feet, and then switch sides, nice and big and tall. Very good. March your feet one more time. And that was, again, every town we went to had like a government square, like a square of palace buildings that were still in use from the government. So this building, this little series of buildings that we saw was actually where the Ministry of Tourism still works out of to this day. Let's take a pause, step those feet out nice and wide, bring your weight to a horizontal position. If you want the easy option, go back to here. If you want the medium option, we'll keep the feet wide and then straighten the arms right down. Nice and tall with a flat t-shirt, lean forward and sit up. Very good. Press your heels down, drive your knees out. So we walked through there and I got to take my dad into a nice little market where he had never seen an outdoor, it wasn't outdoor, but it was like our Milwaukee public market where it's not just a grocery store, but every couple feet is a different vendor with a different booth and a different product. So those are very common, I've found, in Europe, but my dad had never been to a place like that. So that was wonderful to share that experience with him. This time, as you sit up, we're going to keep the feet out wide. We're going to add a bicep curl. Very nice. From there, we got pretty good at the train station. We were better together. Neither of us could really figure it out when we were on our own. But we were better together. We took the train to the TV tower, which the TV tower in Stuttgart was the first TV tower in the world to be made with a basket, like a viewing basket, and a restaurant on top. Let's take a pause here. Keep your weights down. And then, like we did, flat t-shirt, lean forward and sit up. Let's do that several times. So I thought that was fascinating that you hear about I think it's the Space Needle that's in Seattle, and I think Vancouver that's Calgary has its own rotating restaurant. And so that style of building, the first style ever built, was in Stuttgart. So we had incredible views. We had a really yummy meal while we were there. Let's do one more and then sit all the way up. We're taking the weight in the left hand, but keep that arm straight. Nice tight abs here. Bend and straighten. I think I've mentioned it, but I'll share it again. The meal that we shared was so interesting. It was spiralized bologna, spiralized Gouda cheese, mixed together, served on top of lettuce, topped with pickle relish. And we loved it. It was great. Fresh bread on the side. We got some olives for our appetizer, and we were really really being adventurous in this leg of the trip. Let's take a pause here, switch sides, and then right arm comes up and down. After the TV tower, we got a view of the whole city, so we knew where we wanted to go next. Bad Cannstatt was where I wanted to go because it's the most historical and highest population place or part of Stuttgart. And we really enjoyed the fact that we got to notice of all the different parts of towns we went to, we got to see where different types of people live. And it was a bit segregated. Go ahead and do one more, then take a pause. I want both weights horizontal. One more time. But we'll bring the hands up towards the collarbones. Squeeze your bum, lift your chest, march your feet left and right. So Bad Cannstatt, what I learned, the bad in particular, it stands for bath because they have mineral baths. They have spring water that comes right out of the mountainside there, and they pipe the water into these bathhouses where you can go into like a public pool space or like a private smaller pool. They also have saunas and all kinds of things that are right up my alley, but we just didn't have time on this portion of the trip to do everything. Let's go ahead and keep the feet out wide. If you've been squeezing your bum this whole time, good job, you can relax. Oh, goodness. All right, let's take the weight in your left hand, bring it out to the side, and we'll step the feet in just a touch. I do want your right arm out so we keep the posture nice and tall. Our easy option is to rotate right and come back to middle. To make that harder, twist and lift your knee. Back to middle. The hardest option is to add a bicep curl. Very good. Let's do that 5 more times. So we didn't have time for mineral baths, but we did get to walk around this historic and highly populated part of town. We found an old church that was just lovely. We happened into their courtyard. Let's take a pause here, switch sides. Nice and tall. Again, we can go easy with a twist, medium at a march, or hard bicep curl 5 more times. And in their courtyard, we found an old cemetery, and we were just thrilled to see all of these old German family names, just like the names of the family members that my dad had grown up with. He grew up in a very small town in Illinois. Let's take a pause here. And it might as well have been called Germantown. It's just like here. Everyone had German heritage, German last name, all the things. Let's take our weight horizontally one more time. We'll do another round of sit-ups. Tuck your tail, lift your chest. Good, just a couple of easy ones. And then hold it, and we'll add some sit-ups. So we spent a day there just enjoying the heritage and getting used to that train system, because man, did we struggle with the trains in Germany. That was the hardest part. But after that, we were able to go back into the government part of town. We found a lovely place. I think I mentioned to you all, the best meal of the whole trip, I thought, was in Germany. Just really tremendous food that I had never tasted food like that here in the United States. Let's do one more and we'll take a pause. And then again, the weight comes over on the left side and the right arm comes out. Great big posture. Easy, or add on to medium, or add on to hard. We also saw a really lovely historic church while we were there. And then if you came to the presentation last week, you know that the last thing we got to do in Germany, go ahead and take a pause. Let's switch sides. Open up nice and tall. And then easy. If you're adding on, go to medium. Hardest option, straighten the arm. So if you were here, you know the big family story that I got to share with everyone. So while we were walking around that cemetery, the day before, let's take a pause here. Drop your weight down to the side. And we'll start our cool down stretch. We're going to put our left pinky toe down, press the knees down, and lift your chest. From here, look to the right. And if you're comfortable, turn your shoulders to the right. Take a nice deep breath. Very good, and come back to the middle. Let's switch sides. Right knee down, give it a push. nice and tall. Look right. Look left. Maybe you rotate left. And come back to the middle. All right, feet flat. I'm going to tell you my story about the Porsche Museum. So you can follow along. We're doing our normal circles, point and flex, left and right. But I'll go through the story, so just switch along with me as I go. Let's bring the left knee off the ground. If it's good for you, give your knee a hug, and then we'll circle. So we got to go to the Porsche Museum, change directions. And the Porsche Museum is set up like a spiral, point and flex. So on our second time around that spiral, windshield wipe, we found an exhibit from the 1940s. Go ahead and put that foot down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Knee up, maybe you give it a hug, and circle. And we learned that in the 1940s, after the war, Ferdinand Porsche passed the business on to his son, who was also named Ferdinand, but he went by Ferry. Change directions. The first thing Ferry did was move production of Porsche vehicles back into the town of Stuttgart. Point and flex your toes. And you all may not know, but my maiden name is Reuter. Also, you can't just say Reuter. Windshield wipe, you have to say Heute. I was amazed all the things I learned how to say over there. Go ahead and take a break. Put that foot down. We'll take the left foot out to the side and the right arm down. Inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, stretch to the left. Let's hold it here. Look up to the ceiling and lift your chest. So in the 1940s, Ferry moved the business back to Stuttgart and partnered with the Reuter Automotive Group to make the first 500 steel chassis of this new model of car. Let's come all the way up through the middle and switch the sides. Take the left arm down, reach it up, and stretch to the right. So you can imagine what a gift that was to go from seeing so much of our heritage in this area we were traveling to, and then actually finding something with our name on it in the Porsche Museum. It was incredible. Take your body back up to neutral, plant the feet, open the arms, lift the chest, and then give yourself a hug, either arm on top, doesn't matter. We're going to rotate left and right. So there's 5 spirals in the Porsche Museum. Every time we spiraled around, I just had to go back and take another picture of my family name in the Porsche Museum. Take a pause, open the arms, lift the chest, and switch sides. Same thing, gently rock left and right. So we ended up finding our family name in 3 different exhibits, and it was even mentioned on the audio tour, which was something very exciting for all of us. Let's take a pause in the middle, take those arms down, lift your chest. Here's easy, here's medium. If you can keep your chest up, you can go on to hard. One more time and then hold it wherever is comfortable for you. Take your left arm down, point your thumb down. You can rest your hand on your hip or reach your fingertips up your back. Hold it here nice and tall, take a breath, and relax. Let's do that on the opposite side. So left arm comes up, right arm comes out, turn it down on your hip or up the low back. So we messaged some of our family members who are all very good-humored people, and they said, Porsche's for everyone. I wish. So we got them all Porsche Christmas ornaments, and that's just the best we could do. Let's take both arms down to the side. Hands come onto the hips. We're going to cross the left ankle or the left knee, your choice. Either way, right hand on your leg, left hand on your armrest. Sit up tall. Gently twist to the left side and take a nice deep breath. Come all the way back to the middle and switch your feet. Crossing the ankles for easy, knees for hard. Find your thigh and your armrest. Sit up tall and twist. Nice big breath. And back to middle. All right, friends, so that is all of my stories from my worldwide trip. Thank you so much for listening over the last couple weeks. It's been a joy to share all those experiences with you. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I will be here like normal this week. I'm only here Monday, Tuesday next week. and then back to normal, at least for a couple days there after Christmas. So thank you for being here, and I will see you again soon.